you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you. Thanks. Really nice to see you guys again.
So without much ado, I want to welcome Camilla Nontra.
Yay!
Oh my goodness! I should come to you every day when I need.
Correct. This is Sudan.
Wow!
Sudan. Believe it or not, Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt.
Interesting.
Begin to think in a Pan-African way, because they now see that their conditions are not just about that local space, but the condition is linked to all of the other.
Good afternoon, everybody from California, from the East Coast. Good evening to you if you live in the GMT time space or on the other parts of the world. This is the Pan-Africana Show, and I'm your co-host, Fred Nontra. I'm here with my other host, Jesse McCoy. We want to start by thanking God. By Him we live, we move, and have our being. Jesse, welcome back from vacation, brother.
Yes. Much needed vacation. I feel relaxed. I feel ready to take on another academic year of work. So it's glad to be back.
Also, are you you off break? Yeah, you're going straight back to.
I go back to work on Tuesday, and I probably won't see another break again until Christmas.
Until Thanksgiving.
Yes, Thanksgiving at least.
Yeah, at least. Oh, okay. Wow. Well, we're going to jump right into it. The Olympics, if you've been paying attention, there's been a lot going on in the Olympics, from protesting to Simone Biles withdrawing to the Jamaicans sweeping the 100 meters. Well, I'm happy for them, but at least I wanted one other person to be third, at least, or have a medal. That's Marie-José Talu from the Ivory Coast. She was doing so well until the final, and Jamaicans swept everything. I'm happy for the sisters again, but at least I wanted Ivory Coast to represent the medal. At least one medal. Jamaica can have 2 medals. I mean,
Jamaica said they want all the medals.
They wanted all the medals, but hopefully, Mary takes part in the. I don't know whether she's taking part in the 200, and she can get a medal in the 200. So that's my little rant. And then Ivory Coast lost to Spain, who were the tournament favorites. They had them dead to rights in the soccer game quarterfinals, so that would qualify for them for the medal round, but they lost in the last minute, and that also got me a little. So I was a little not happy this morning because my brothers and sisters, lost games. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. But I'm excited for another show. We took a 2-week break, or 1-week break. Jesse, of course, needed a much needed vacation.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I want to say, first off, if there are any Olympians who are watching this, thank you and welcome. Part of my vacation, I stayed at a hotel in Orlando. I don't want to get a hotel away, but that's where the parents of the Olympians are staying. So whenever NBC zooms to Orlando and you see all the crowds and balloons and stuff, that's where they are. We met some very, very famous people's relatives. I don't know who all the people are, but we've met relatives because they walk around the hotel with a badge that says, "My child is in the Olympics," or whatever the case may be. And everybody's proud and heaping praise on them. So shout out to everybody who's in the Olympics right now. Also, we have seen over the past week a couple, a little bit different ways of handling the Olympics. Primarily what I'm speaking about is Simone Biles and her decision to kind of prioritize mental health over the game. And this has, of course, caused fallout all over the place, because there are people who are questioning her. For some reason, I guess winning 1 million gold medals is not enough to prove yourself to the world of people sitting on the couch watching you. So who knows? But she has prioritized her mental health. I'm not sure if you all have seen the videos, but they actually had some training videos of her trying to do the things that are pretty much second nature, like stuff she's been doing since she was a child.
Yeah.
And if you look at her face when she's making these jumps and stuff, she's not even there. Like, I don't know, like you can hurt yourself really bad, particularly being Simone Biles and doing the caliber of action that she does. Like, you're like, she gonna remember to grab that bar, right? Like, you gonna remember that, right?
Yeah.
And she's just out of it. So I don't know if it's a mind trick. I don't know if it's just media pressure or whatever. We saw something similar with Naomi Osaka, who wanted to prioritize her mental health. But of course, y'all know how it goes. If you ever played a sport here, I was telling my wife when this happened, as proud as I am of Simone and Naomi, this could never be a black man. It could never be a black man saying, I'm choosing mental health. It wouldn't happen, right? Because the amount of vitriol that some of these sportscasters have, and I think there's an element to that also of like some racism involved as well. I think the United States has never historically really cared about black bodies except for what we can do for it. And I think when they expect that we're going to win medals for them and we decide we're going to prioritize ourselves, that rubs the powers that be the wrong way from time to time. So the goal is to threaten and intimidate people so that nobody else takes suit, like so that everybody else will get in line and do what they're supposed to do. But when you deal with Simone Biles, this is a world-class athlete. She's been on Wheaties boxes. She's been on everything. And you can't just say, all right, well, Simone, you better go deal with it.
Would this have been a third or second? Is this a third Olympics?
I want to say this is her, well, I think this is her second, but it may actually be her third. I don't know.
It's a third, 2012?
Because I think she was a youngster. Yeah, I think she was a youngster when Gabby Douglas was winning. And then she came out the next year and killed it. And then she came back this year, but it's been in a much more supportive role for other people who are now going on to win gold. So if anything, it should tell you that, you know, this gymnastics team that the United States has put together is top notch. Like, this is a quality team. When somebody can get basically 2 days of notice that they get ready to be on the international stage and still go out here and win gold medals, like, it doesn't matter who you load in on that pommel horse. Somebody's going to represent. So that's good. And I love to see people being supportive of one another and not being backstabby and competitive. So that's good. And I want to see people prioritize their mental health regardless of where you are. I will say I had some initial concerns about Simone only because leading up to the Olympics, I know that she had gotten that like goat moniker. So she had put goats on stuff, and even the airport had put goats on her pillow. And I was like, you know, that's cool, but you should leave it to the fans to say that you're the GOAT. You shouldn't put it on yourself because that's only going to elevate the pressure of being awesome. And I think that probably can burn you out. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I will say, you know, I didn't hear Michael Jordan say he was the GOAT until he finished, right?
Yeah.
So he was done. It's just a lot of pressure to throw on yourself when everybody's looking for you to make a mistake.
Yeah, we need Kamala. If you're around, you're welcome. You can probably join us live if you want to comment.
Yes, please.
If you're there, we need help in that area. But I do agree with you. And, you know, people don't even realize that how you alluded to it, the fact that she started when she was really young. Mm-hmm. And some of these athletes and film stars, they don't have a childhood. I mean, they spend hours and hours, you know, practicing. And it's, you know, it takes a toll. It definitely takes a toll on you. I mean, I've not really done any, competitive. So I've played when in high school and stuff. But then sometimes just the pressure of, you know, the moment, you know, playing with the, you know, among church folks, that could even get to you. How much more, you know, on the world stage, you know? So, absolutely. I mean, this lady has not had any childhood, and, you know, she's just growing to it. I can't even imagine what they go through as athletes. Yeah. So, yeah, you know, rather we should be supportive of her. And one of the commentators that is popular amongst us for the wrong reason, Stephen A. I mean, he actually commended what's her name, Naomi Osaka, when she took that decision. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his, but we give credit due when it's due. So, you know, big up to him. But yeah, it's a lot to take in at that age, and it's almost like you've known this your whole life growing up, and I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and I think about, Simone Biles was on that team that had to deal with the sexual harassment from Larry Nassar, the guy who's now in prison for molesting the gymnast. So you don't know like how this stuff could impact people, because a lot of times what people don't understand is when you are an Olympic athlete, you have to go to exclusive training facilities that are far, far away from your hometown. And oftentimes your family just can't afford to do it. So they actually pretty much sign you into the custody of your trainer, which means from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to sleep, you are training. And there's no family structure. There's no parent there who's going to be able to check people to say, hey, you need to ease up off my daughter for a little bit. There's a great movie that's getting ready to come out about Venus and Serena Williams' dad, and the kind of figure that he was, just being a black dude from Compton. You're not going to talk to his daughters any kind of way,
That's
right?
right.
The same thing. Everybody didn't have that. Like a lot of people, you went to the custody, and we're not even going to start with like the racial implications, because black families a lot of times just don't have it. So if you have a talented black athlete in your household, they're going to live with people oftentimes who don't look like them and who don't understand their background or their culture. And they've got to process not only academics, but they've got to process all of this talent in a very short period of time so that they can go on and become Olympians. Because you got to remember, there's a reason you don't see 40 and 50-year-olds at the Olympics. That's a reason, okay? Your peak is going to be late teens, early 20s. Yeah. And the Olympics is only every 4 years. So if you don't hit that threshold in that 8-year period, you've missed it. And all that training and all the money you spent is waste. So it is a big, big responsibility to carry. I think that we as outsiders, people who sit on the couch and watch, we oftentimes want to feel like we have, we're all managers. That's what I say. We're all great general managers, right? So we love to tell people like, this is how you should pick, and this is what events you should do, and this is how it should go. But we haven't even lifted up a dumbbell, let alone right? do high velocity flips in the air that could decapitate us.
Armchair quarterback.
Right. I was up here screaming at my Charlotte Hornets yesterday because I was like, man, this draft came up. We need to give LaMelo help. So I'm telling them who we need to draft, and I'm thinking I got all the picks. They didn't pick any of my picks. And then when it's all said and done, they get like an A- draft grade. And I'm like, how? Yeah. Like, because they know what they're doing and I don't. Right. Yeah. So yeah, but Olympics are big. And then I know there are sports that I just look forward to for different reasons. And I'll admit some of them are short-sighted. So I am a big fan of watching skateboarding, not for the good reasons, but for seeing people fall. I think it's hilarious.
Oh,
no. I know they work so hard, but it's like some of that stuff, you just looking at you like, oh, they're going to fall. I know they're going to fall before you even hit the rail. I also like I like contact sports, right? So I like seeing the judo, karate, taekwondo. I like seeing, there's a new sport that I didn't think I would like, never seen before in my life, but rugby. I really like that.
Really?
That looked fun.
Is it because it's a little like football?
Very much like football.
I think it was that's where the football started. They borrowed the same concept, Other than the wall is bigger and they don't have any
no padding. Right. No padding. But it makes it seem even better. Yeah. I saw they had the highlight reel, and I wish I remember which team this was, but there was a black, I want to say Fiji. Yeah, Fiji, yeah. But there was a guy, I swear it looked like 4 people hit him at once, and he just bounced off and kept running. And I was like, this dude needs an NFL contract today. Contract today. No pass.
Running back.
As a running back. We could use him. So yes.
For those of you who don't who are not familiar with, because people watch from all over the world, running back is the guy who holds the ball and runs through contact and bounces off of people and runs people over, or wiggles around, with the ball in his hands. He gets it, and so that's a running back. Anyway, go ahead, Jesse.
Yes, well, this guy was amazing, and I wish I knew his name, his country, but it's just a 10-second highlight reel of all the sports. So when I saw him, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I played football for a long time, and I couldn't imagine getting hit like that with no padding.
Yeah.
So he's earned my respect.
Okay, Michael says, good evening, guys. What do you think about the African athletes being sent home for doping at the Olympics?
I only heard about I think it was the sprinter.
The sister.
I only heard about the sprinter.
Yeah, I heard about the sprinter. What's her name? Michael, could you drop a name? Yeah, I mean, well, it's unfortunate that happens. Sometimes people make mistakes and they take, sometimes you have to declare everything, even eye drops, whatever, or like some vitamins, you have to declare it with your doctor before you take it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe them because people claim it makes a difference. I mean, me personally, I don't know, but I'm sure a lot of people do it and are not caught, and some people only get caught after they admit to doing so. So whether it makes much of a difference, I don't know. But sometimes, unfortunately, it happens more to our people than is expected. Anyway.
Yeah, and I just got her name is it looks like Okabare.
Okabare, yeah.
So this is the issue, and I think this is why I'm a little concerned. We've already seen with Sha'Carri Richardson that the way that they do the testing is a little weird. Okabare was actually being suspended from her sprint now for a test that she took weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, how would you tell somebody the night before an event, hey, you're testing clear? It just seems like you should be able to find out a lot faster. The other thing is kind of what we were talking about before with athletes. I'm not sure how it is in Nigeria, but if athletes are going into a regimen where they pretty much live with a trainer, work with a trainer, they're going to eat what the trainer gives them. They're going to take what the trainer gives them because this is the person you're entrusting to make you an athlete. And sometimes some of those trainers either don't know the ingredients of what they're giving you, or they do know, but they've been paid off by somebody to help promote something elsewhere and you don't know, right? So I also think there should be some kind of appeal process. And I think the problem with her is she's got an appeal process. They say that she can do a Plan B sample, but in her appeal process, it's not going to finish before the time of the event. So she's still going to be barred from doing the event. And I get the feeling, I think she was only doing 2 things. So if her 2 things are in that time window, you basically are kicked out of the Olympics, so to speak. So it's a matter of, can we get testing? I know it's people who when you get a job application, you got to take a drug test. You go to a LabCorp or something here, they're going to have a result in 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Why can't the Olympic athletes have 24-hour testing results? That's kind of where I'm confused.
Yeah. Okay. Samuel Thomas, that's your
Sam, Big Sam.
Okay, Big Sam. Glad I could jump in and catch you guys. I took watch the Olympics for varying reasons. And it says, when did the Olympics start doing mixed sports, mixed track? I think they started this. I think it was this is the first time they're doing it. And I saw the US won the 4x200 mixed sport, if I'm not mistaken. One of them. Yeah, the relay, the 4x200 relay or the 4x400 mixed sports relay. Yeah. But I think this is the first time they're doing it at the Olympics.
I saw the swimming mixed relay, and I think like what you see is the teams were all strategic about who they wanted to swim on what leg, and like kind of what happened. So it's weird to me in the sense that I feel like they're all looking to see their advantage. So you put your strongest male swimmer against the not so strong female swimmer, or vice versa, right? And I think, I don't know, relays are always tricky. I never was good at track and field. It's always tricky because you rely on other people.
Yeah.
But I also saw people who had like record level, for their leg at least, they had record level timings, but it doesn't matter because you're so far behind.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think I would love to see us do this, and I don't know, maybe they are already practicing this, but it looks like to me this was something that we kind of put together for this Olympics. Let's see, USA actually lost the 4x400 mixed relay. Poland won.
Oh, okay.
Astonishing. Okay.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything today. But yeah, man, like, I don't know. I think it's good to have mixed relays. I just think we need to have a better kind of strategy as to how we're going to do it, because I just think there's something inherently unfair if you're going to say, yeah, your best women's swimmer goes against our weakest man or whatever. It just seems like there needs to be some kind of parity there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really watched it, so I don't know how they do it. So like, whether you have to, maybe the woman has to do the second leg, you know, against the man, you know. So what happens then? Or it has to be a particular way. The woman have to go second, or the woman have to go third, or the woman have to start. Now, if they could just, I mean, a coach could look and say, okay, you know what? Why don't the guy go second so he could, you know, give a big enough advantage such that when it goes to the third person, you know. So I don't know my feelings about that, but I mean, if they could do it, I think if they could do it that way, like all women go second, all women start, or all men go third, you know, that way. So there's no unfair advantage. No one could back the system.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I know for the swimming, they didn't do that at all. Like they had some teams put their female swimmer first. There were a couple of teams that put their female swimmer last, and then there were a few that had them like all spread out. But they literally were in the swimming pool against men. And like you gotta remember, these aren't like me and you in the swimming pool. Like, like the best of the best in the world. And I just feel like it's that, even though we want to all be equal, I feel like that's not fair, right? That's not fair to put Michael Phelps, you know what I'm saying? And be like, all right, keep up with him. Like, that's not fair.
I know,
So I don't know, but swimming has been very interesting. Unfortunately, my girl Simone Manuel lost last night, but didn't qualify for her race. But I am a big fan of hers just because she is the first Black person I see win a medal doing some swimming. And I know Black people, we not always big on swimming. So to see what she did at the last Olympics and to see her out there with all the things that she's gone through this year and still trying to compete was amazing. I know y'all know I think about a month ago, they had the issue about Black women not being able to wear the swim caps that Black women were wearing. So that was a whole thing. But I'm glad to see that she didn't let that stuff fall to her and that she was able to get out and compete. It seems like this year is the passing of the torch for all women named Simone. So they're passing the torch to the people behind them who are now doing all kinds of incredible stuff. So I'm excited for the future of the Olympics. I'm looking forward to all the track meets starting, I think, tonight at 9 or 9 my time.
They already started. They started the heats, and unfortunately, one of our brothers, Michael, too, was disappointed, got disqualified for fast. He jumped the gun. Odudoro from Nigeria. And I mean, I don't know. I was a little suspicious of that because someone jumped it, and then the camera went straight to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm like, what's going on? You know, it was actually a British guy. The timing was really off, and it was a British guy, but they didn't disqualify him. But I don't know how does a camera know that it's him who jumped in a split second? How the camera know that? You know, and because they have to check, the judges have to look at the sensors. They have to check the sensors and, you know, have a conference before they decide this guy. Before they decide this guy disqualified or not. So I mean, I found it a little troubling. And then it happened the second time, and he got disqualified. I'm like, okay, I don't know whether that was fair, but anyway.
But they always do those uncomfortable pauses too. Like it seems like naturally you always have people get on their marks and then wait a few seconds to shoot the gun and we're off. Yeah. But they've been messing up. Like I know, even for gymnastics, the girl who ended up winning, what's her name? Suni something. Suni Lee, I think. Yeah. Even for that, like before she got started, she was getting ready to start, and they like, oh, we got reset. Like, you can't do stuff like that at the Olympics, man. Like it needs to be like oiled and ready to go, because they'll have you, especially at a track meet, like how you get off the break is everything. So if we need to get off the break at the same time, I don't like these whole like 5 minutes. We wait, everybody tense and shaking, waiting.
I know, right? Yeah,
that's crazy.
And the one brother from Nigeria, I forget his name. He won his heat and qualified for the semis, and he like obliterated his heat. And this guy was Bromo was actually in that heat, and he came out fourth. And the Nigerian brother won that heat. But then Bromo had the fastest fourth. You know, once you're fourth, you don't qualify automatically. But unless your time is the fastest, and his time was the fastest fourth place, so he qualified for the semis. So I look forward to the semis and then the final.
Absolutely,
we're gonna have a new champ.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and I also see USA Basketball finally got their thing together, because it was bleak for a while. And it's funny because again, as a couch person, I'm looking like, if I was at the park and I had Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, it's my team. How am I losing? How am I losing games? And
Devin Booker,
Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday. Like I've got these people on my squad. This is my squad. Like, how are we losing games? Like, and then and what I've come to realize is that I think the NBA, we put a lot of emphasis on the power of individual play as opposed to the world that does the power of team play.
Yes.
So I saw like impressive players from Argentina, from Spain, from Nigeria, like people who play very well within a team-based system, that I was like, oh, I get it. This is how we raise our kids to play basketball. Yeah. But in America, you know, like Sam said, America's soft. Like,
because
Harden gonna lean into you so you can hit him.
Yeah, but they don't call that. You know, that's a funny thing. I'm glad he brought that up, Sam. I'm glad he brought that up because they don't. You see, some of them when they get physical, then they turn around and look at the reps like they want to foul. No, then the play is going on. No, it is soft. I totally agree. So they don't call those fouls, those ticky-tacky fouls, unless it's obvious before they call a foul. Now, so that was one of the reasons I believe they lost the pre-Olympic games plus the first game against France. I mean, they had NBA players on France too. They had Rudy Gobert, Batum, and there's a third person, I forget his name. And then they have some of them playing the EuroLeagues. And these guys, mind you, they had the same squad 4 years ago at the Olympics, the France squad. So they know each other, and it's more team based. But in the US, on the NBA, is more ISO. Although these guys are, world class talent. I mean, Kevin Durant is probably number 1 or number 2 best player in the world. But then most of them is just ISO, and then they're, it's like take me home. But then that's not how other teams play. It's more team oriented.
Absolutely.
I'm saying exactly, laugh aloud, playing for touch fouls. NBA wants high scores. Yeah, exactly. And then is it Luka killing? Yeah, Luka. Yeah, Slovenia is really good. They won their first 2 games and they blew out the competition. And Luka had like 48 or something like that.
Luka is a beast. It doesn't matter what court they put him on, he's going to deliver. And then I'm always a fan of Spain only because they got the Gasols, and the Gasols seem to play different when they play for Spain than they do when they play in the NBA. Like Paul Gasol, when he was with Kobe,
It's
would
like
be
41.
good. But like when they're playing Spain, it's like they are the captains. Like they know what's going on. They know where people need to be. And it's always like they have a little more hunger playing for Spain. I actually like them playing for Spain.
Yeah.
And then my favorite has been Campazzo for Argentina. That guy, like he just has tremendous heart. You know, and I didn't even the star that they had was the guy. Was it Scola, Luis Scola, who was like a nobody on the Lakers.
He's an older.
Yeah, but he was out there trying to lead. But that Campazzo, that guy was awesome. So I don't know. I love seeing talent. I love.
And shout out to Nigeria. Lest we forget. Shout out to Nigeria.
Shout out to Nigeria.
I mean, they lost. I was so upset again. Last Wednesday when they lost to Germany, they lost the first game against Australia. I mean, Australia is really good because they've been playing together for a while now, and they also have NBA talent. And then the game against Germany came down to the wire, and they lost in the last few minutes. So, but then shout out to them. They represented well. Hopefully, they win the last game against Italy. I think it's today or tomorrow. Yeah,
and
shout out to them.
I have a special request to make to the IOC because this year they added this 3-on-3 basketball tournament to the Olympics. But the team that I saw playing 3-on-3, like we got people, it's just me, again, couch surfer. But I feel like we got people at Rucker Park that could make this 3-on-3 thing pop. Like we skipped to Malou and all those old school folks with the crossover moves. Why aren't they in the Olympics? Like, we don't need to just be recycling the NBA players and putting them on 3-on-3. We need to have street ballers and do the tricks and stuff.
I know, because that would be more for a Globetrotter kind of a game, you know?
Yes.
We need some showboating,
Yes.
crossovers. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree with that. But yeah, so that's a little take on just get Ice Cube 3.
That's what it is.
Just get Ice Cube Big 3 League.
It seems like that's what they're going for.
Okay, I got a message from Camilla. She was engaged in some other stuff, but she did comment and say that they need to leave Simone alone.
That's right.
To take care of her own mental health. So
that's right. Thank you, Camilla.
Yeah, so she won't be able to join us today because she has other appointments going on. Yeah. So any more questions, comments? Michael, you still with us?
Yeah. I'm wanting to see. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I didn't get to see, and even like this is a good time to learn sports that I don't know about. So I think I spent like an hour watching fencing. I never understood it. It wasn't a sport that was ever available in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I was like, talking to my wife, like, what are you supposed to do? And she was like, well, you hit people with a sword. And I was like, why isn't this in my neighborhood? That sounds like something we would have loved to sign up for.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see like different sports and the way that different places. Even the thing that captivated me the most was ping pong. Ping pong. I didn't realize how complicated that ping pong was. So like people who are hitting the ball like fast back and forth, doing tricks like behind their back, all that stuff. That is awesome to me.
Yeah, Sam. That's a good question. They've had the World Cup in South Africa. This was 2014, and that's when we got our hearts broken. Ghana lost in the quarterfinals on penalties. They did have they're supposed to have a Olympics on the continent. And that one is just obvious what's going on there. And I mean they had the city's big enough to host Olympics. They have good enough stadiums. So I don't see why that hasn't happened yet. So Summer Olympics definitely.
They did South Africa, I think Johannesburg with the Vuvuzelas.
Yeah, that was World Cup. World
Cup. Okay.
That was World Cup. Yeah, that was when Ghana represented. We had 6 African countries represent then. Yeah, but but there's not been Olympics on the continent, although we've had all these great, Olympians, from the Kenyan long distance, middle distance to long distance runners, Kenya, Ethiopia, I think Morocco, we have all these great athletes from those countries, but we have not had it yet. But we definitely should, and maybe we should call them out on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sam. Anyway, so before we go, if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have this up on YouTube. It's actually live now, so it's going to be on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the like button, share, and all that good stuff, and you get our message out there. It also, helps with the algorithm, and we get more views, and our content will go out there. Today is just a relax. We're getting back, talking about Olympics, talking about the different Black nations and brothers and sisters represented in the Olympics.
Yep.
Jesse, any?
I just want to add, now that we are back, we are always looking for cool guests to have on to talk about the perspective on your side of the world or what's going on in your industry. So if you know somebody who would be a good fit or who would want to be on the show, please feel free to send us a message. You can send us a message via Instagram. We're at the Pan Africana Show. You can also send us a message through Facebook. Afroscope presents Pan Africana. And so just make sure you reach out to us. Let us know. We can do all the arrangements as far as getting in contact with them and setting it up. But we definitely want to make sure we have cool guests coming through. Lastly, for all the guests that have already been on, we are trying to brainstorm some creative ways of getting some interaction. I don't know if that's going to be like 4-way discussions. I don't know if that might be, topic-based discussions, but we want to make sure that anybody who's ever been on this show should know they're part of this family. So if there's personal accomplishments that you've had that you want to share, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. We also already had Sister Nadine on TV in Jamaica. So, we want to continue doing that. And we still have a goal of getting Sister Nisette in with the Panama Travel Authority. I'm not sure why y'all haven't gotten back to us yet. But Panama Travel Authority, get back with us. If you know anybody who might be interested, definitely have them reach out to us.
And also we're gonna share later. We're gonna share. We had a guest on a few weeks ago, Louisa Marcella. Her book is out.
Yes,
and there's a discount on that book, so we're gonna share that shortly. Actually, Jesse, could you talk a little bit while I get a link?
Sure.
Talk a little bit about Louisa while I get a link to a book. I want to share that.
Yes. So her book is basically talking about the creation of what we know as South America. So the influence of the African, the influence of Asian communities, all coming together to create what we now know as South America. I think many of you, if you read it, you think but you don't necessarily know how these things work, because the system, even for something like slavery, the system of enslavement in different countries in South America differed amongst themselves, let alone different from how things work in the Americas. On top of that, this influx of an Asian workforce created cultural fusions and other hierarchical systems within those respective countries that really influence the way that they view everything. So race, even as a social construct, being the social construct it is, not necessarily viewed the same way in certain South American countries as it is in the United States. So I think it's a very interesting book. I think it's a very informative book. I would encourage all of you all to go out and get it, read it, and broaden your horizons. We are all trying to kind of bridge this gap between the diaspora, and I think an important piece of that is learning what the story is in the first place, so we can know kind of why do we do certain things that we may not necessarily have an explanation for, but that's just how we were raised. It probably comes from a tradition or a heritage that was passed down from the continent. I think it's important for us to know, because daily there are going to be oppositional forces that are trying to assault our unity, right? TikTok has them every week. They've labeled them the diaspora wars.
That's
There
right.
should be no such thing as a diaspora war. We're all part of the same extended family, and it's important that we operate as such and understand that, because as long as we understand that, then we can come together to build monuments of greatness, just as our ancestors would have wanted us to do, and not be separated and infighting or name calling as our oppressor would want us to do. So, for all of you all who haven't gotten the message yet or haven't checked this out, make sure that you like us, follow us, buy Luis's book, and educate yourself, and come and join us and help us build these bridges.
So I have a little surprise before we get off, and I'll let give me a second while I share my screen. Hold on.
Presence is Habiba Kahinde. How you doing today?
Sorry.
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you. Thanks. Really nice to see you guys again.
So without much ado, I want to welcome. What am I doing? Okay, sorry about that. Let me stop the sharing. How do I do that? Okay, there we go. You see my screen?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah,
9,000 views. Wow.
So just want to say a big thank you to
Camilla, don't try.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
thank you,
thank
all
you very
viewers. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So this is it, and
yes,
yes.
that is amazing.
So we have 9,000 views. So
9,000.
Thank you everyone who made it possible. We couldn't have done it without you.
Absolutely.
Yes. We definitely couldn't have done it without you. So I want to say thank you, a big thank you. Thank you to Michael Zon. Thank you to Michael. Thank you to all. Yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate it.
So
We don't take
Jesse,
any news for granted. So thank you all for tuning in. Continue to tell people, continue to spread the word, have more people join up. I think if every viewer told one person, we'll get to 18,000. And then we can start creating other content that everybody can enjoy and appreciate. We really want this to be a family venture. So definitely help build with us, help grow with us. And I appreciate everybody who came out and commented on any of our videos or even commented on the live feed today. Thank you all. Uh-oh. And I think Fred may be frozen.
So take. Am I frozen? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, we appreciate everybody for coming out, for viewing. We're having some tech issues, but fortunately, this is the end of the show. So the tech issues are coming up, and we'll continue to try to work on those as best we can. Make sure you continue to watch the Olympics. Us, we root for everybody black. So vote for everybody black. Let's celebrate. And yeah, if y'all have any other concerns or questions, please feel free to reach out. I think I'm going to close us out today. We didn't have a guest, so I won't give you the disclaimer today. But at the end of the day, we're happy to have you all on the show. So have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Oh, you ended the show, right?
Yes, I just ended the show.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think you just got to stop the live feed.